A lead magnet is essentially a document that incentivizes somebody to do something. So a lead magnet is 10 ways to enjoy your life. Is Grammarly worth it? Copywriting portfolio template. These are things that are strong enough, interesting enough to get somebody to hand over their email address to download it. And here's how I create them. I'm Joy Yule from Hire a Writer. Hire a Writer is a world-class copywriting agency. First stage of any good lead magnet is a brainstorming sesh. So there are tons of categories of lead magnets. If you Google lead magnet ideas, you will find some of them. But the thought process behind them needs to be, what is a problem that you can actually solve? If you're a copywriter, this is obviously on the client's behalf. If you run a digital marketing agency, client's behalf. If you are a business owner, this is a problem that you actually solve. So just because you have good ideas and you want to do 10 ways to, or a guide for how to, if you are not actually an expert at doing those things, it's going to be clickbait. Clickbait is something that everybody hates. It's that, look what happened with the Royals this week. And so you click on it, and then it's a slideshow of 25 slides of Harry and Meghan, right? You're just like, this isn't what I signed up for. And it erodes trust, and it breaks down, and at the end of the day, you are never gonna get that person to engage with your brand again because it was a stinky move on your part. So make sure that whatever you choose is an actual problem you can solve, and then that the lead magnet you create is actually substantial enough to solve it. So go through the brainstorming. Here are some ideas. So types of lead magnets, one-sheets. These are like factoids, infographics. Keep in mind, these have to be substantial. They can't just be facts you Google and then throw on a designed sheet. So one-sheets still need to be good. White papers. These are my favorite. They are research-backed, analytical, academic. Checklists, how-tos, step-by-step directions, seasonal items, templates. So these are highly downloadable. So create a simple template for a repeatable task or something people make a lot. My sales letter template is my most downloaded lead magnet. I'll link it in the comment. Swipe files, these are really trendy right now. So they're highly graphic, interactive, and they're chunked out by topic or step. They take you through how to do something. Calendars, so everybody loves a good organizational tool, especially if it's highly relevant, uniquely organized, or laid out. Worksheets, workbooks. These are, they need to be a little bit more substantial. So if you're gonna do a worksheet, it's gotta be something that they can't just Google and download the Google image file for. Make sure you do some research. Printables. So these are like to-do lists, graphic frames, grocery lists, or ebooks. Ebooks are something that you're obviously gonna spend a lot more time on than the other forms of lead magnets, but they can set a really good precedent for the quality that you provide in the marketplace. So those are just some ideas. A lot of people start with the type. I do think that you need to ask the question of what problem you're solving before you choose what type. So if you're like, we want to write an ebook, and then you're like, yeah, but we only have like really one thing that we do all the time, and it's not very deep, it's just really strategic. Well, an ebook might not be the best thing. Or if you're like, hey, we want to put together an infographic or a swipe file, and then you're like, well, actually, we have 18 steps for this, and it's really research backed, and it would actually be a better ebook. So first, choose kind of your problem solution and title, like the whole big idea for what the lead magnet is, then choose the type. I just find that sequence to be a lot more effective and cause a lot less chaos. Next is content mapping. So here we have taken our step away from brainstorming. So brainstorming happens, yes, settle on your idea, get the type of lead magnet you want, and then you need to stop brainstorming and start mapping your content. So this is logical. You can do it in a copy wireframe. So you have the little tables that you chunk out, and have the different categories of content, your little snippets and things like that, places where you're gonna put graphics. So you can do it that way, and that makes the graphic designer's life a lot easier. Or you can do it in a table of contents. If you're doing an ebook, you want to start making a sequence and making a natural order to the copy that you're going to write. So if you don't put those frameworks in place, the length of everything you write is going to be wrong. Okay, so if you know you're doing an infographic, it drives me bananas. If you have 10 things, everything needs to be 3 lines, right? And if you have one thing that's 7 lines, it's just very annoying. The graphic designer is going to be mad at you, and you just didn't organize your thoughts well. So think about the content map. Think about the overall structure of the content, how you're going to lay everything out, and then you do the actual copywriting work, which is the fun part. You get to put the words to it. You get to create the headlines and the taglines, the blocks of content, the points you're gonna make, the great call out quotes. Part of the fun of creating a lead magnet is you get to write a lot of different kinds of copy. So you get to write a lot of things that feel kind of like ad copy when you're writing your taglines and your hooks and things like that. You get to write things that feel kind of like a blog or an article when you're writing the body of the content. And then you get to write a lot of CTAs. So you don't want to forget that just because somebody has entered their email address and downloaded the lead magnet, that's not the end of the conversion path. The lead magnet itself should offer an additional conversion path, whether it's schedule a call or book this or go download this next or whatever it is, okay? So you want to make sure that the lead magnet itself is not just the end game, that it's a vehicle for further interaction with the brand. So that's now you put this during the copy stage, right? So you've mapped the content and then you create all of this beautiful, rich, conversion-oriented content to fill your lead magnet with. So once you've gone through all those important production phases, you need to think about the actual delivery mechanisms. Most of the time, your lead magnet is going to be hosted on a landing page, and it's not necessarily paywalled, but it's going to have an email address, which some people call that paywalling. They have to enter their email address in order to download it. Again, the litmus test for the effectiveness of a lead magnet is if somebody thinks their email address is worth downloading that. So again, you want to make sure that the way you market it on the landing page, that copy is just as important as all the copy that you put in the lead magnet itself. Make sure it's incentivizing, it's exciting, it gives a preview so they understand. I often think instead of just having like a stock image or something like that on the landing page for a lead magnet, you should have an actual picture of like one page inside the lead magnet itself. Now, if it's just an infographic, you can't get away with that because it gives away the farm, right? And then in Google Images, they can just find it and kind of zoom in. But there are strategic ways to kind of tantalize them, right? You want to make sure that once they land on that landing page where they've already exhibited intent because they clicked on something to get there, that they go forward and put their email address in and actually download it. So make sure you craft the landing page well. And then I think that I just wanted to give a brief word about like website CRO. So when you optimize your website for conversion rate, that's what CRO is, conversion rate optimization. Landing pages for lead magnets can actually end up being a great source of organic or paid traffic for your website. You're gonna get a lot of traffic from people who are downloading things that they think add value to their life. So in addition to the brand awareness that provides, establishing you as a thought leader, all of that, it's gonna be great for the health of your site. So I'll just say, as a professional copywriter who's made a lot of lead magnets, they can be the best, they can be great, but they aren't always. And the only way you'll really know if a lead magnet works is if you track it, right? So reporting is always the final phase of any content production effort. And reporting for lead magnets is usually really easy because you're hosting it on a landing page, because it's the end of a ClickFunnels, because you're driving traffic there on purpose, you can pretty easily track if somebody has gone through and entered their email address and downloaded it. And then you need to pay attention to those results. So if you thought that something was going to be really effective and it isn't, you need to then analyze every piece and say, okay, was the landing page wrong? Does it not represent it well? It doesn't incentivize people? Was the ad that led them to it wrong? Kind of go through and figure out where's the missing link of whatever you need in order to optimize that conversion rate for that specific piece. Because lead magnets can make you money and they can build your email list and they can be a really powerful mechanism to build your brand. Sometimes lead magnets are best made on the heels of a subject matter expert interview. So if you are interested in learning how to get thought leadership from a client or from somebody in your company who has a specialization that you think could create great content for a lead magnet, watch this video. I take you through how I do subject matter expert interviews and how to get the best content out of somebody who knows what they're talking about. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and subscribe to our blog to get more copywriting advice and information on how to grow your brand.